powerhouse performer and an entertainer par excellence, Aditi Rao Hydari has impressively established herself as one of the most talented and bankable actors in the country today. Good evening, everyone present here. And on behalf of Social Story, I would like to extend our warm welcome to a talented and beautiful actress, Aditi Rao Hydari. Before we hear from Aditi herself, I would like to introduce this powerhouse performer. A popular name in the Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam entertainment industry, Aditi made her on-screen debut with the Tamil film Sringaram in 2007. Over the years, she has delivered powerful performances in films like Delhi 6, Rockstar, London, Paris, New York, Khoobsurat, Bazir, Fitur, Samohanam, and Padmavat, amongst others. Further, Hydari was last seen in the hit Telugu film Veer. She has also been receiving rave reviews for her performance in the recently released Ribhu Das Gupta's The Girl on the Train. Up next, Aditi has MA Productions next lined up in which she will be seen opposite John Abraham. She will also feature in Hey Sinamika, Mahasamudram and Dharma Productions Ajit Dastans. So welcome Aditi, and it's an honor to have you here. And the first question that I would like to ask is, could you tell us on how do you feel being a pan-Indian actor?
That word actually now is being used so much for, I don't know, it's like I almost feel sometimes like maybe we shouldn't be using these words because this is not the first time that somebody has worked across industries. In fact, there have been so many actors that I have been inspired by who have worked across industries and who have been doing it for years. Which is one of the reasons I wanted to work like this, because I saw that there is so much, our country has so many diverse voices, so many cultures, so many languages, so many different kinds of people, and so stories must be about all these people. Like it can't just be one kind of story. And I feel like as an actor, I feel very lucky to be a part of these different kinds of stories. So rather than use that word, I'd like to say that I'm an Indian film actor and I'm lucky that I get to work across industries in different languages. And more than working across different industries, I'm lucky that I work with really good people, and that people across these different regions that I've worked in have really given me so much love. I think that's what really encourages me to keep at it and keep doing more. So I feel very blessed for it, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do this. But people have done it and are continuing to do it. But yeah, I feel lucky to be one of those people.
Very nice. Nice to hear that. And yes, from now on, it will be an Indian actor. Yes.
I sometimes use that word myself, but now when I see everybody is going for a pan-Indian release, pan-Indian this, pan-Indian that, I'm just like, oh, I don't know what that means anymore.
True. Hailing from a royal lineage, Aditi is a trained classical Bharatnatyam dancer and has effortlessly managed to carve a niche for herself. Can you tell us more on your career as a Bharatnatyam dancer, and if you could recall your first acting project of a Devadasi in Sringaram?
No, Sringaram, I did Sringaram because I was a dancer. I had never stepped in front of a camera. I had been on stage many times as a dancer. I've been dancing since I was 5. So I basically did that film because they needed a dancer, because that film could not have been done without a dancer, and they needed a young dancer because the part was like that. And that's how I started. But I did dance professionally, but I actually joined the films later. I would say 2010-11 is when I really joined the film industry and I started films like as a profession in Mumbai as an actor. But my dance is a very important, my dance and music, though I've not learned music, but my mom said so my dance is a very, very, very important part of my growing up in my life and my work and my just downtime, because I've been just doing it from before I can even barely remember. And I have a very wonderful teacher, Leela Samson, who I still go to when I can, though I don't dance regularly because um, I feel like whatever it is that you do, you have to give your 100% to that. You can't. It's difficult to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that because then I feel like you're disrespecting your dancing or your acting. So I want to do one thing fully and completely, but I feel like dancing is a very important. Like it really makes me who I am in many ways, and I can never separate dance and music. It's pretty much me. I don't know if that was your question, but.
Yeah, and also if you could, share, if you could recall your experience during, acting as a dancer in that film, how was it? I mean, the
honestly, Sringaram, I was too new, and I did that film almost like in my downtime when I had a break and I was not, I had a little time off and I could do it. And my mother was, though she's always given me a lot of freedom to, do whatever it is that I want to do. It's a very new world, for her and for us and for everybody at that point. So at that point, I was just grappling with learning my lines because it was huge lines in Tamil. I don't know Tamil. Right. I've heard it because I am half South Indian, but I did not know the language. And it was old style Tamil because it's a period film. But this, I will say that at that time I never understood this word. But I remember not being very afraid. I guess I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so I wasn't really afraid. But I sat in front of the camera and I delivered my lines, and it got okay. I remember this very well. I remember I was sitting on the floor and eating off or a plate, I can't remember. And it was part of the scene, and I had to give some dialogue and walk off. And I remember it was okayed, and I wasn't scared. I don't know why I wasn't scared, but I wasn't scared. And everybody on set said, "Oh, the camera loves her." At that point, I was like, "Are they crazy? What does this even mean?" But I didn't say anything. I didn't understand it. But I don't know. I just went through that film in 1 day. If they told me to get up, I would get up. If they told me to sit, I would sit. If they told me to dance, I would dance. If they told me to, like, there were days that I wouldn't, like, I would sleep for like 2 hours, and we would keep shooting and shooting and shooting, and I would be crying because I'd be like, I'm tired. And then they would tell me, no, this actress has shot 48 hours without sleep, and all. I'd be like, okay, I will not sleep. I'll not sleep. I didn't know what I was doing. Only I was just doing. But it was fun.
Nice. Nice to hear. I mean, the kind of experience that as a little girl you might have had at that time.
It was
enthusiastically.
It was fun. Like I said, when you don't know, it's just like one adventure you're having. Yeah.
Correct. Nice. So from Sanjay Leela Bhansali in Bollywood to Mani Ratnam in the South, Aditi has worked with the best filmmakers of the country. So could you tell us on your work which is close to your heart, Aditi?
Actually a lot of the things that I have done, I feel very connected to because I feel like I did them for the, like, how to say now, I did them because my gut said do it. Like Padmavat, out of the 4 principal leads of that film, my part is the smallest in screen time. And Sanjay sir even told me that, but he said Merunisa will be magical. And I trusted him. I didn't have any reason to not trust him. I love Sanjay sir, and I know that Merunisa was she's so beautiful inside out. Like, her soul is so lovely that I just wanted to play her, and I feel like I played a lot of really nice parts like that, like Leela Abraham from Mani sir's film Carve. I love her. She's just so nice. Merunisa, then Samira and Samohanam is lovely. Sahiba and V is so nice. There's so many nice characters, and I feel like when I'm doing it, I'm just going along with whatever the director's saying, and I love that very immersive experience of working. But sometimes it's later when I realize that character really, like, I don't know, it kind of stays with you in some way. It changes you, it impacts you in some way, and I feel like I've played some very lovely girls. I hope that I can be half as lovely as them, but they're so nice.
Hmm.
Nice, some of them.
Nice.
But I
So,
think my favorite experience would be, of course, anything that changes your world, changes your life. So
yes.
my experience with Mani Sir, I think both the films that I did, especially Day, I would say that that made me believe in dreams, and that dreams come true, and really changed my world, my life, personally, everything in every.
Okay. Great, great. So can you tell us like a little, like you mentioned about this Sahiba in We. So, how was that experience of yours?
It was lovely, I've worked with Mohan sir before on
Mm-hmm.
Sammohanam, and Sammohanam is pretty much an author-driven role, um,
Mm-hmm.
and We was really about the boys.
Right.
But I didn't even think twice about saying yes, because Sahiba, again, that part, like, she makes everything happen in that film. It's because of her that everything happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Vishnu's love for her, that the whole plot unravels the way that it does. So I feel like she's such a catalyst in that story, and she's the heart of that story. And I feel like sometimes parts like that can be very, you'll always keep them with you,
Correct.
heart, as an audience, and maybe even as an actor. I really love how Mohan sir works. I'm a big fan of Nani's. He's a very nice person and a very incredible actor. Um, so it was a no-brainer for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I was happy to do it, and I did it, and it was a great experience. Um, it also really changed, like, also I feel like I'm a real sponge on set. I just like absorb on set, whether from the director, my co-actors, and Nani is a great co-star. He really, he's a team worker, and so I really enjoyed that experience. It was a lot of fun, and people liked that track a lot, when it came out. So that always feels good when you feel like, okay, I took that. I went with my gut. I took that chance, and it worked. So you feel happy.
Nice, because I still remember the hype and that was created here, especially in the south. So I was really eager to ask you.
Especially because for some reason they decided to not show. Not for some reason, I know why, but they decided to not show like anything of mine, and then everybody was going crazy on social media. I remember, and Mohan sir used to
Yes.
this where people were like, "How can you do this? How can you do this?" And I felt very special, actually.
So that's nice. I mean, and then it was like a suspense that has been created, and then finally when it was.
It was a new experience.
Yes. So nice to hear that. So often referred to as India's Audrey Hepburn, she is also a fashion favorite with her own inherent sense of style. Aditi, could you tell us on how films can be a tool to create social impact and spread awareness on, the individual social responsibility?
No, I do believe that films can be very impactful. I mean, you look at a film like Rang De Basanti, or I mean, so many movies that are that really really move people, touch people, make people change the way that they think, etc., etc. And though I do believe that films are very important, and because it's a very powerful medium, where you are actually telling somebody a story, but um, there is a lot of there's a lot of messaging that happens subversively, etc., etc. So I think that actually, as filmmakers and as actors, we have quite a responsibility towards what stories we are telling, how we are telling, etc., etc. Having said that, I do also believe that at the end of the day, a film is a story, and people should have right to tell the stories that they want to tell, without people jumping down their throats for everything and taking umbrage at everything. Also, like, somewhere, every responsibility cannot be on an actor to speak about causes, etc. I think that they must be aware, but they must only speak when they truly believe in something. They cannot pretend to speak about something that they don't know about, etc., etc. I feel it's a very fine balance, and I think that we, as well as people, need to understand that it's a very fine balance, and the entire onus of changing society can't be on cinema. It's one of the very powerful mediums, but at the end of the day, it is also an entertainment industry, and I know there's responsibility there, but there also needs to be some lightheartedness and freedom of speech, etc., etc., freedom of expression, etc., etc.
Correct. Very true. So Aditi, could you also tell us a little bit more on the street harassment that cause which you were a part of?
So L'Oreal, I feel so proud, one, to be a L'Oreal brand ambassador, and also to be the face of the stand-up movement. I think it is so essential and so important the world over. Basically, the holoback system, which is the method used to combat street harassment, is something that anybody can incorporate into their lives, and it's literally like an eye opener. When I went through the basic training program, I was just like, oh my god, why did I never think of this? Because quite often, and even as like a teenager, or when I was studying, etc., you're out and you see certain things around you, whether it's happening to you or it's happening to a friend, or it's happening to an unknown person who you don't know. And quite often, we just don't know what to do. We don't want to create a scene, or we don't we're not sure how we should approach or how we should stop this. But the holoback system gives you 5 very, very simple ways of combating street harassment. Like one method that I liked a lot when I went through the training was distract, which is so nice. Like, they have a lovely film also to show you instances. It's like, so distract is basically exactly what the word says. Distract the person who is harassing somebody else, or distract the person who is being harassed by basically coming in the way and creating some business over there, so that you break up whatever it is that is happening. And, so it's such a nice way to do it. It requires presence of mind. It's creative, and I think everybody can use it. And there are 5 other these things also, like delegate. But I would urge everybody to get on the holopack.org or the L'Oreal this thing. There's a link in my bio on my Instagram. So get on it, learn it for yourself, do the training is what I would really insist, actually. Because it's so important, and I think it's so important for each one of us to be empowered. I think one of the most beautiful things about being empowered is that you are empowered enough to be able to help somebody else. What better than that? Yeah. Do the training.
Any other instance or any other incident that you would like to share from that cause of yours? Because it's something very important that I felt, the street harassment. So anything if you could.
I think the most important thing is for everybody to sign up and do the training program, because I think it's only when you do the training program you realize how important it is in one's life and how easy it is, actually.
Okay, that's important.
So I think it's really important for each one of us to take the training program, and it's really simple and essential.
True.
And not just for women. I would say for anybody who's being harassed on the street.
Correct. And if it's simple and you have everything available online, I think it will not take much time for any of us to actually go through. And this is something that is really important, and it's the need of the hour.
Yeah, and the world over, not just in our country. It's
exactly
the world that women especially deal with street harassment.
Correct. A wonderful cause indeed. So, a recipient of South Indian International Movie Awards, International Indian Film Academy Awards, Asia Vision Awards, and Screen Records, Aditi has time and again won everyone with her seamless act in both commercial mainstream cinema and content-driven films. Aditi has a spectacular career and has been consistent in her work. So, Aditi, could you share your present message to the present generation? You've been a true example of showing consistency in your work. So if you could pass on a message for the youngsters.
I feel like I don't believe in like send a message to people, because I feel like there's not one message that you have to give to anybody, you know. But I do feel like it's so important for all of us to 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 keep our intentions very very clear and very very focused. Because I feel like in the work that we do, or in our lives, or in all our interactions, you know, there is the only thing that we really really have control over is our intent, our intention, and what we bring to the table in terms of our discipline, or our hard work, or our honesty or positivity. Those are all in our control. Now, what happens after that is sometimes not in our control. But to remain that person, to have your intentions, to work with love, to deal with other people with love. I mean, that is something that we can do from our side. So I would just encourage everybody to just be true to themselves, to be kind, to know that there's nothing more beautiful and more powerful than love, and working with love, and in believing in yourself, and and in goodness. I think like everything is sorted like that, and just be happy. There's nothing more beautiful than being happy, and I think everything is sorted when you're happy.
Very true, very true. So there's one question coming from our team on how can we encourage girls of rural India into mainstream acting?
Encourage, or that they should have a way to. I mean, they should have access. I don't know which one it is. I don't think anybody needs to be encouraged to, like, I think people need to be encouraged to study and to educate themselves. That's the main thing that needs to happen in this country, is that every girl, every child, every boy needs to be encouraged to study. And when I say study, I don't mean to be literate, I mean to actually be educated. To treat women well, to be better human beings, to be kinder, more generous, to actually be expansive, to have a sense of humor. I think that is more important than anything else. After that, what career you choose is in your hands, and you are empowered enough to choose the career that you want to choose. The most important thing to pick with is education.
Correct. So you mean to say,
I was not allowed to join the movies till I finished my studies. I was not allowed to work till I finished my basic studies.